to such a reality and in such a short time. We know humans are quite clever.
Yeah. Well, we did back engineer a lot of stuff.
That you did too.
Yeah.
But you also used an operation which you're aware of, Operation Paperclip,
Yeah, yeah.
to bring a lot of top Nazi scientists and Nazi engineers
Yes.
to this country. You gave them new names, new identities, and told them if they would serve the United States military-industrial complex, that their sins, so to speak, would be forgiven.
Sure.
What you were not aware of is that they did not turn their backs completely on their Nazi beginnings.
Uh-huh.
And that even at this time now, they run your military-industrial complex.
Wow.
They have taken over America in a way you never expected.
Huh.
And this too is something being dealt with presently, that your people who are deciding to put a stop to the insanity are in some cases even losing their lives in the effort, but that they are putting a stop to the insanity.
Well, I thought, so this is going to be news to a lot of people. I mean, I've always known that, that there was a big, German Nazi, influence still being, felt in our, culture and corporations. But I never thought it was that powerful of a directive. I always thought, the banking elite, like the Rothschild families and some of these old families that were put in power by the Anunnaki, thousands of years ago. I thought they were more the ones that are really, close to the top in terms of,
Don't you think that they also wanted to benefit from what they already knew existed?
So you're saying they're in league with these Nazis?
Yes.
So they're so the Nazis are like the boots, the boots on the ground, not to. So well, that's interesting. And I got the impression, listening to you just now about that when we adopted the Nazis, took in all the whole Operation Paperclip thing, that they were probably still feeding back all their continued technology and learning that they did under our roof, so to speak, that they were probably still feeding that back to the Nazis that went underground, that fled to like South America, right?
They were, but then those who went, many of them who went to South America, had connections with those who went to Antarctica.
Right.
And that's where you...
And maybe some never left?
Yes.
When Admiral Byrd went down there, he went down there with a big squadron.
Yes, well, you know what happened to them.
And, I was going to say, the whole thing was covered up.
Of course.
In a big way. But the secret story that I've always heard more than once was that they got their asses kicked.
They did.
So, and then we never went back, I don't think, right? The Americans.
No, you made deals with them. Even deals to explore space with them.
And these are Nazis that have continued, an unbroken chain of command and kind of been living off the grid, so to speak.
The Fourth
Reich. So
Reich.
they never left.
The Fourth Reich.
Right, and they never left. They've been down in Antarctica since, right?
Well, they and their children who have come after them, yes.
Sure, yeah. Are Greys involved in that scenario?
Not as much now as they used to be.
Oh, but they were recently.
At one time.
Uh-huh. What about the tall whites? Probably some of those guys too?
Actually, no. No. The Nazis have been busy, I guess you could say, like you did previously, back engineering devices that were already operational in there. In fact, the, what do you call it? In 1952, there were a number of UFOs sighted over Washington, D.C., actually even over the Capitol.
Yeah.
And this was due to Germans coming over to say, look, you tried to give us a rough time. We can make it over here anytime we want.
It's interesting you say that. I don't know what the source was, but I read that about a year ago. You know, that it was that's what it was. It was actually Germans. It wasn't aliens.
It was not ETs.
Yeah.
Those, however, did come close to the same time, but move it a little more up to 1955.
And that actually kind of makes more sense. What about, on that same note, what about that battle that went over in Los Angeles that everybody in LA, you know, saw? There was like a big battle, you know, UFO battle in the sky around Los Angeles. What year was that?
I'm not up on that. I'm not informed on it.
No? Okay. I forget the year, too. It's easily found if anyone wants to look it up on YouTube. There's lots of videos about it.
It may well have been... oh, yes. Okay.
Somebody telling you?
Yes. This was during your war years. World War II.
Yeah, I think it
In
was
fact,
45
in your country,
or
it's hard to
47.
find a time when you haven't been in war years.
And that's the truth.
That was not a battle between UFOs. It was a battle between ground forces and a UFO.
Well, yeah, they were shooting. They were shooting up at these things.
Yes.
There were searchlights in the sky, you know, and they were attempting to shoot it down. But what was, I mean, why such an open performance? What was it about?
All I am aware at this point, which is sketchy at most, is that the ship took off, was never actually even hit. You ended up evidently hitting more people on the ground. I shouldn't laugh about this because it's not funny, but in the sense that you were attempting to fire on this ship,
Yes.
and all you did was you ended up having a lot of live rounds that hit people on the ground when they didn't make it up to the ship.
Wow. So what, your people are telling you in your ear that this was just one ship?
It was one ship.
One flying saucer?
This is what I'm being told.
Huh. But it went on for a while, right?
Evidently.
Huh. Was they the Greys?
I don't know.
They don't know? Alright. So many scenarios.
Being told that no, these were not hominids, but they were more human-like. Greys would be a form of hominid,
Okay.
if you stretch your imagination some.
The big F. Hey, let me ask you this. This is kind of off topic, but it's something that there's a lot of talk about, a lot of people conjecturing, and I find it a fascinating thing to think about. But going back millions of years, a lot of people say, for instance, that things like trees, ancient trees, you know, going back millions and millions of years ago, were just huge. And that a lot of these areas in our world, like out in deserts, you know, where they have these what look like mountains that are completely flat on top, are actually fossilized trees that were cut down by the giants millions of years ago. Is there any truth to that?
That makes an interesting story.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
I do not know. There's not a whole lot of truth there.
no, I mean, you know, it is very interesting to comment because you know, people that say this, they show a lot of pictures of some of these, you know, these plateaus and you know, these mountainous structures that have these pancake tops to them. And the bases a lot of times do look very tree-like, like like a regular sized tree, looks like when you cut it down from the base kind of thing. But okay, so trees were never, super big.
They were certainly bigger only because you had the kind of atmospherics and, well, mostly because the atmospherics would allow for it.
Not bigger than redwoods, though, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Redwoods and sequoias. I love trees. My first life in this world was a tree in the ancient primordial forest before people were here. That's one thing I know about my travels, as well as my first physical existence in this universe was as a star.
So you should know some of these things I've been telling you already.
Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah. But
Not to be rude, but I have to get back.
we've had a very good long session. This is excellent.
I am actually one of the leaders of some of the forces that are going to be going underground.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I look forward to talking next, and whatever you want to talk about is always welcome. I hope you can tell us some more juicy things of what's going on behind the scenes.
We'll see.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
You
Great
too.
night. Best wishes and blessings for anyone who sees this.
All right. Thank you, Ilo, and good luck on your missions. Okay, well that was a very long session, people. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm looking at the clock on the camera. We got over an hour. About an hour and 12 minutes. So anyway, for those that are, watching this, do yourself a favor. Look back into the other ones that we've done. They're all really good and informative. All right, guys, take care.